how do you think that Liverpool will approach this game?
Have you looked at our centre backs, bro?
We'll cancel out each other. Welcome to Jom United. Okay, we are a Manchester United. Don't look at the right hand side, the Manchester United fan channel. Proudly buatan Malaysia. Okay, and today is a very special episode of Jom Sembang United. Okay, because we are on the eve of the biggest game in the EPL every season. Okay, and we'll be talking about the biggest rivalry in the EPL, Manchester United and Liverpool. Okay, and to make it extra special, okay, we got our friends, okay, from YouTube land, from the channel The Plot Malaysia, Premier League Overtime, is it Premier League Overtime Malaysia? Okay, so basically they are also a Buatan Malaysia channel, okay, and they are bringing you contents on the Premier League and also other football related materials. Okay, so if you like football, you'll definitely love their channel. So hop on over, check out their channel, subscribe, and support our fellow Malaysian channels. Okay, so on our panel today, we got our resident pundit, okay, Doc De Gea. Doc De Gea, how are you? Everything good?
I'm fine. I just want to tell Ram and Hari, I really love what you guys have done with Plot Malaysia. I think you've given the voice to not only the major club football fans, but even those with a smaller fan base. I saw a guy with an Everton fan last week, and I think that's fantastic, really fantastic. So really love what you guys are doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
And a pleasure to have you guys on the show as well. Sorry.
Oh, thanks, man.
Okay,
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
And to welcome the good-looking guy in the zebra stripes jersey, Ram, handsome-looking fella, and also, oh my god, this is a very rare occurrence, a very special occurrence, because usually they only turn up 30 years one time. and they're supposed to be in hiding right now. I don't know why they're out here now. Welcome Hari. Thank you for being a good sport, guys. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we will be talking about Manchester versus Liverpool. Okay, before we go into the juicy stuff, let's talk about a bit of the most serious kind of stuff. Okay, I'm sure that even your channel and a lot of other channels, we covered the recent ESL debate. Okay,
yep.
The aftermath of the ESL. Okay, so I think that we are all aware that the coming weekend there will be a protest happening.
Yes.
Okay, in front of Old Trafford, a very big event, and also I think YouTube channels, the foreign channels like United Stand, they came out with an online petition. Okay, I think they already accumulated 1,000 petitions about getting the 50+1 rule, the ownership to the fans to be debated in Parliament. So I think they already hit the goal, which is a very good thing for us football fans in general.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so to start off, right? Okay, for us fans in a foreign country in Malaysia, okay, we are all passionate and we love our teams. Okay, but when it comes to this kind of ESL debate and whatnot, we seem to be a bit distant away. Okay, if just say this ESL actually went forth, okay, do you think it will actually impact us, Ram?
Honestly, what I'm going to say. Thank you so much, Dom, for asking that question. I think that's a brilliant question as well. I think for me as a United fan, I'm sure Doc and also Dom, except Hari. Okay. I just feel that once you breathe in United, and once you have that United running through your veins, whatever that goes on with the club, it takes effect as well. I think for all United fans around the globe, including the ones in Malaysia as well. So for me personally, when I look at all these stories and events happening, I love football since I was young. I grew to love Man United since 1996. I've been a United fan for so many years right now. So, and as a football fan first, when I see this kind of events happening, it's a real ugly sight, if you know what I mean. So that's why, I think personally, if the future generations, if they're going to watch football like in the ESL, for example, I don't think it'll take long for them to realize how boring it would be and how much of a business it is rather than actually a sporting event. So for me personally, I'm sure the rest of you would feel the same as well. I think it really runs through our veins as United fans, and of course as football fans. I think we hope that they keep and they preserve the current tradition of football, and it doesn't matter wherever you are from. I think everyone would definitely feel the same. So that's how I basically feel now. Thank you so much for asking that. Yeah.
Okay, so for us, okay, with all the online, I mean, they're doing all the online petition and all the protests and whatnot. Okay, so
Yeah.
for us, Malaysians, and especially since we are running these YouTube fan channels, what do you think that we can actually do to contribute to this cause, Hari?
I mean, firstly, thanks for having us on the show, guys. I mean, and thanks for the introduction as well. I mean, we appreciate it. To be honest, we've watched your show as well, and got to say it's fantastic. Some of the content, some of the stuff you guys cover is brilliant. Coming to your question, Dom, great question. I mean, listen, I think we've covered ESL in depth in general. A lot of fan channels have covered it. The media has covered it extensively and they're still covering it. It's something for them to talk about. So it keeps going on and on. So I think a lot has been said about it, and we all know the effect it was going to have. It was going to be a closed shop, and we're not in favor of that. I think fans of our generation and fans in general, they want to see, performance being rewarded. Right, if you're playing badly, you get relegated. If you're playing well, you become the champions. A closed shop doesn't work. It was very much a money move. So I think we were all not in favor of it, which is why I think common sense prevailed at the end.
Yep.
So that was good. Now, in terms of how we can impact things, I think we're far away, to be honest. So there's not a lot that we can do. I'm glad a lot of United fans, Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans are all pulling together and trying to make an impact, either get the owners to leave for some of these clubs, or impact Parliament in terms of introducing some sort of 50+1 regulation for this for ownership of clubs as well, some sort of governance when it comes to ownership of clubs. Because at the end of the day, I think owners need to understand they're custodians of these clubs. They can't just run it as in how they like. It's not an American franchise. It's a club. That it's entrenched in the culture for a lot of these fans, especially from specific parts of the UK. So I think how we can impact things is very much as a YouTube channel with the following that we have now, that we're growing in Malaysia and across the region. It's about educating fans. I think the part we can play is educating fans about what it was all about, what it's all about, what football was a few years ago as well, and how we need to maintain the tradition. So at least people can make an educated decision, as opposed to just saying, oh wow, this seems very interesting. It's Liverpool, Barcelona, it's Man United, Liverpool every week. I think it's educating them about what this was going to do and how subscriptions were going to increase in terms of viewership, subscriptions as well. So I think that's the part that we can play. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, actually, it's very true. Actually, coming back to our club, Manchester United and Liverpool, we got our rivalries, we got our banter and whatnot. But then, out of all the English Premier League clubs, I would say that these two clubs are the one very rich in heritage and culture, football culture. So it will be a shame if ESL was implemented and basically wipe everything of those things away. You see. So like you mentioned, that's a very good point.
Yep.
That awareness, education, to the younger fans, and so to speak. I think the older guys, all probably we all is in our blood already. We are already aware already.
Yep.
So probably with our YouTube channel, with the contents that we are putting up, with our personnels sharing their experience and the view of the games, I think probably that will inspire the new audience to love the club more. I would say so. Okay. All right. So now let's get into the juicy part. Okay. Going into the big game. Okay. Doc, what are your feelings coming out of the 6-2 win? Yeah, 6-2. Finally, a lot of goals. What's your take going into this big game?
So I'm feeling terribly positive. I think there was a fantastic performance coming on the back of last week's 0-0 draw with Leeds. I think when we started off on fire. I think the first goal was fantastic. The link-up play between Bruno and Cavani, and even Pogba, the run that he cut two defenders, and then we slacked. We made two mistakes. I think the penalty. I don't think Pogba could have done much diving in like that, but you need to be a bit cautious these days, because some of them are very good at flicking the ball into the hands. I think we saw Mane is quite good at that, Hari? So
Doc, let's not talk about the diving. Salah.
Nice one, bro.
No, let's not go to the diving yet.
It helped us get double the amount of Champions League you guys have won, so it's fine, bro. We're all good with it.
So anyway, but I think, I don't know what Ole is spewing at halftime, what magic he's doing in that dressing room, whether he's throwing teacups or whether he's bringing out the hairdryer or whether he's just being absolutely, positive. But they come out a different team in the second half. I think they came out a different monster. I think Roma was also a bit hampered by they'd already done their 3 substitutions, couldn't change much. The substitute keeper, but what was impressive was, despite going in front, taking the lead, and we saw a clip of, I think after Bruno Fernandes' penalty, he was telling the team, "Come on, let's go for one more, and that is the spirit that embodies this club.
Okay, so going into this game, Ram, you can see like finally our forwards they are all gelling very nicely the past few games, right? Okay, let's not talk about our double pivot, that one we will save it for later. But then going forward, it seems that we are getting everything together with the likes of Cavani, Pogba, Bruno, these 3, and then of course Greenwood coming in. So how do you think we will play when we face Liverpool? Because the last time around when we played them, in the EPL game, we were very conservative. We were very respectful. Okay, and then a lot of fans they were pissed off that we didn't go all out and attack them when they were pretty weak. So how do you think that we will approach the game this time around?
Thank you, Dom, once again. I do think that now having seen United playing a few games, especially the latest ones against Roma, but what I've realized is their current play is now finally they are pressing a bit more higher. If you realize, previously they were always allowing the teams to actually come and attack them so much, right? And they normally end up conceding goals in the beginning and stuff like that. But now I can see them playing a very higher line. And I think they're going to do the same against Liverpool, because Liverpool's defense are in tatters at the moment. So to say. So we need to take advantage of that, especially when their 2 central defenders are not, present. Of course, they are makeshift defense. So I think it's important that United actually hit the ground running early as possible, try to get an early goal, and of course, win the game by half time. Because I do think with the current form that we are in, especially with Pogba, Cavani, and Bruno, and of course Rashford as well, I think we do have what it takes to kill the game off at halftime itself. I know I'm making a very bold statement over here, but I
don't think it's a bold statement. I think it's a universal truth. But then carry on.
Yes, and definitely, because the thing is, when I saw United play previously, even if you talk about 5 or 6 games, or even the beginning of the season when they started, it showed that they were vulnerable at the back. It showed that they were not composed in the midfield. They were giving a lot of holes in between. And lately, when you see Fred, McTominay, they have this understanding. Of course, Fred at times he can be quite, he can just miss out certain things at times. But I do think that he and McTominay play a very important role in the center of the park. And I think because of those unity that they have, going from defense, passing the ball into midfield, and going up front, I can see a lot more flow now. And I'm very confident that because of that flow, because of the form that we are in, there's no reason why we wouldn't win that game. And I think we have to win that game. We must win that game, especially in this Old Trafford. We can't allow this one Liverpool guy over here to be joyous at the end of the day. So yeah, that's how I basically feel about it. That's how I think they're going to go in. So I think the lineups will be pretty much similar, not much changes. I think it's going to be throughout the same one they started against Roma.
I think, Dom, can I just add on a point then? It's interesting that Ram brought up that observation, that we are pressing higher up. And I have mentioned this before, going back to the double pivot, right? It allows your wing backs to actually push up a bit higher. And that is what we are seeing, actually. Yeah.
Yep.
It has some disadvantages. I think the second goal in Roma, you can see that Wan-Bissaka very wide, very high up. Pogba didn't drop down and cover the Mkhitaryan, and it was we were punished for that. But I think this is what he has in mind. You can see that now the line for pressing is very much higher up. You see the left back and right back Shaw and Wan-Bissaka pressing very much higher up, and they are allowed this to go up so high because of the double pivot. As much as people make a lot of noise about it, I think that is the idea. It's actually a bit more positive than we think it is.
But then probably later we'll look into that when we talk about expectations and whatnot coming in the next season. Because I think the double pivot, the idea is there, but the personnel of Fred and McTominay, I don't think it's working 100%. Okay, which will bring us to Hari. How do you think that Liverpool will approach this game? Actually, I can give you all a pointer. I can give a Klopp pointer. You can actually target, because our centre back pairing is I would say crap. Our CDM pretty much is crap, I would say. So some tip for you. Okay, so just how do you think that Liverpool will approach this game?
Have you looked at our centre backs, bro?
cancel out each other.
We've got a 20-year-old on loan who was playing for a club in Germany where he had won one game the whole season. And then we've got another guy who's our savior this season, Nathaniel Phillips, who can barely sprint, So, yeah. But yeah, how are we going to approach the game? I mean, to be honest, I'm fearful going into the game. As much as I'm trying to be as positive as possible, and I always am going into a game against United, but I'm fearful going into this one because, well, we're badly off form. Even though we're unbeaten in 5 actually in the league, which is a slight improvement to what it was before. But it's a train wreck of a season, so we're not in form. United is in really good form, as evidenced by the game against Roma. And I was hearing a stat the other day where I think you have lost only like once in the last 20 games or 18 games or 20 games or something like that.
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a tall order for us. To be honest, I'm hoping. From what Doc and Ram said about United now playing, I don't watch United games as much as you probably understand, but if United are playing this high line now and pressing high up the pitch, I hope they do that against us, because Liverpool have joy against teams that do that. Our problem this season has been against teams that sit back, sit deep, and then hit us on the break. Basically because we play a high line, so they sit really deep, they don't give any space to our 3 forwards who are deadly when they're on form. And they stop our fullbacks, who are the prime ammunition for us in terms of assists. They stop them from playing, and then they play balls over the top over our high line, because our centre backs are not the same. They don't have the pace of a Virgil van Dijk or a Gomez, and they hit us that way. And that's what I'm scared of if we play United, because of Rashford's pace, Greenwood's pace. If you guys play a high line, then I think we have a better chance actually. So I hope United approach the game as you say they will, and they don't go the way some of the other teams have. What areas we can target? Yeah, so I think it's the centre backs. I look at United centre backs as being your weak spot. The rest of the team, I think, is very, very strong. So yeah, those are the areas where I see we can hurt you guys, lah. I mean, from a Liverpool perspective, I seriously hope. I mean, apparently Nathaniel Phillips is not fit for the game. So if he's not fit, there's a chance that Fabinho will go back in defence again, and I would dread that, because I think it's very important we play Fabinho in the central defensive midfield role. That's where we have been getting some of the results recently. So if that doesn't happen, then that's another issue for us. But yeah, that's how I see things playing out.
You brought out the point that you guys are not having really good form, but for the past few games. But then usually when it comes to this kind of rival games, right, form usually goes out the window.
Goes out the window, yep.
Yeah, for sure, goes out the window. Actually, to be frank, I'm confident, but I'm not very, very confident, because I still remember the last time we had this kind of excitement going to a game when we won the PSG game. PSG game at the time. I was so confident. I actually ordered the pink color jersey the next day. I was so confident. I stayed up. I didn't sleep the whole night. I went and trained my clients. I didn't sleep the whole night. Then the next thing you know, we lost to Arsenal. I think it was 2-0 in that weekend. You see? So seriously, it forms. I'm not going to go all out being very confident. Okay, but I'm just gonna reserve my my excitement. Okay, Hari, for a Liverpool fan, right? What is more concerning for you now? Your defensive or your attacking your 3 attacking personnel's not firing well the couple of games? Which is more of a big concern to you now?
Actually, someone, I think Doc had posted this question actually to me as well. So it's a really, really good question, offline. So basically, I mean, if you ask me on the season as a whole, then it's of course our defense. Virgil van Dijk, losing them, Gomez and Virgil van Dijk has not allowed us to play our normal game, because we play a high line generally. Klopp is very stubborn that way. He's like Guardiola. He wants to keep playing that way. He doesn't want us to change our shape, which is fine. But when we don't have the personnel like Van Dijk, Gomez, it impacts the whole team, because we play a high line, we're exposed at the back. The midfield is not as comfortable. Confidence drops. The strikers' confidence drops as well, because they feel they're having to cover the wing backs, for example, drop deeper, etc., etc. But if you ask me as of now, then my concern is our 3 attacking misfiring forwards, because if you look at the stats, actually, very interestingly, we are not conceding many goals. We are only conceding roughly a goal a game. Sometimes, at the max, we don't concede more than a goal a game in our last, maybe 7-8 games or 10 games or something like that. So we're not conceding many goals. The issue is we're not scoring goals. If you watch the Newcastle game, oh my God, I think we must have had about 6 one-on-ones. And these fell to some of the most deadliest forwards just last year. Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota, and we couldn't score. So that's a big concern. All are pretty much off form when it comes to one-on-one situations in terms of their confidence in front of goals. So that's a huge concern because we're struggling to score goals, and I think that's a bigger concern for me going into this game.
Yeah, funny you mentioned confidence when it comes to Salah. He's still got about 20 over goals this season.
Yep.
Shouldn't be lacking any confidence, actually.
It shouldn't, but you see, that's the thing, right? We have apparently we have created 36 chances in the last 2 games, and we have scored 2 goals, which is so our conversion rate is absolutely horrible. Not just the last few games, but across the season. So Salah has scored 20, but with the chances that have fallen his way as well, it should have been a lot more. I think the one who is badly off form, Salah is still okay because he's still getting the goal, is Mane and Firmino as well. But Firmino has always not contributed many goals. He's more of an assist maker. He links the play. Mane's numbers have really dropped off. He's having a very bad time in front of goal. So I think that's really impacted us.
Hari, since we also have you here, I got 2 interesting questions. Or I wanted to find out your thoughts on 2 of your players. Okay, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is one of England's best right backs. What is your thoughts about him? And he's going through a very funny patch. One game he plays very well, one game he's totally off, and it's been going on for a couple of games now.
Yep.
And I also want to hear your thoughts on Thiago Alcantara. When he came, he was the pass master.
Oh my God! Oh my
He was
God!
the pass master. He completed 50 passes in one game and all, but I really don't see the impact that he's done. I think a lot of fans are now jumping on him as well. So I just want to hear your thoughts on these 2 players.
Good question, Doctor.
That's a really good question. So I'll talk about Trent first. Trent is, I think, a generational talent for England. And the fact that Gareth Southgate is even contemplating not taking him on the plane, I think speaks more about him as a manager than anything else. Because he should be in the squad. Even if you're not starting him, he's that good a player. I mean, if you're Harry Kane, who would you want on the ball crossing from the right? It's Trent. He's got brilliant deliveries. So I think it just speaks volumes about him as a manager. Trent, everyone's getting on his back, including Liverpool fans this season. But I think we've got to take things into consideration. Trent's game is all about his attacking play. He's never been a great defender. He's never been a great one-on-one defender. It's his attacking output that has been his plus point. Who has been doing his defensive legwork for him in the previous seasons is Joe Gomez, who covers for him as a centre-back, and Jordan Henderson, who plays on that right, and he always drops in to cover for Trent. Joe Gomez has been injured the whole season. Jordan Henderson has been injured for about the last 3 or 4 months, and before that he was playing centre-back. So he has lost his 2 most important players who were covering for him to allow him to do his most damaging work. So I think we really can't judge him on this season until he gets his partners in crime back to support him. So I think that has been the impact, because Klopp plays Trent for his attacking output, not for his defensive work. He knows other people can cover for him. He plays him because he's that good in the forward areas. So I think we can only judge him again next season on that front. Thiago is a really good question, So Liverpool fans are on his back as well. But Thiago is a class player. That's all I can say. He's proven it over the years. The thing with Thiago is, this is one of the things where I disagree with Klopp on. So Klopp's idea when he bought Thiago was to play him with Fabinho and Henderson, because Thiago is not a type of player who's got legs to run around the field. He's more of a player who can pass, and he's a pass master. He's good. He's got good vision. So the people who were supposed to do the leg work for him were Fabinho and Henderson, and he's lost those 2 partners in midfield for most of the season. Most of them were playing centre backs. Henderson's been injured. Fabinho's been injured. The one game the 3 of them played together was when we played Everton, and we ran Everton off the park. I don't even know how they got a 2-2 draw in that game, even though they injured 2 of our players, including Thiago at the end. But we ran them off the park. So, again, I will hold my judgment on him till his partners come back. The one thing I would say about Klopp is Thiago has always played well in Bayern Munich in a pivot, a 2-pivot, a double pivot, just like Fred and McTominay. And only thing I'm disappointed with Klopp is he hasn't done that. When Fabinho and Henderson have been injured, why not partner him in the middle with Gini Wijnaldum, play a double pivot, play 4 attacking players? So he's something he's used to. Right now he's being asked to do things he's not used to, and without the people to do the legwork for him. So I think that has impacted his game, and so there's a couple of things here. Like, one is I think he needs his partners in crime back, but also I think Klopp needs to be more innovative and maybe play him in the double pivot, and you'll see the best work. Just one thing to finish off, when we played Newcastle and we created 36 chances last week, was probably one of the first times he played him in a double pivot. He played the 4 attacking players, he played Thiago together with Gini Wijnaldum, and he had his best game. He was man of the match. So, that's one of the things that we Liverpool fans are a bit frustrated with Klopp about, I would say.
Okay, so moving on. Ram, for United, the United squad now, right? Okay, if just say that you take over Ed Woodward's position, okay, and you are in charge of the transfer, okay, what would you do to improve our current squad?
To be very honest, right, I think we definitely need another striker. That's for sure. We need another striker.
I want to interrupt Ram here very quickly. I think you guys should buy another Maguire for 80 million pounds.
Yeah.
Where's the kick button? Where's the kick button?
Hello.
Ram, just one thing. Okay, just bear in mind that we have to be realistic with our budget, because all this while our net spend is about 75 mil. Okay, plus minus 75 mil. So we gotta just say that we have that amount of money. Where would you spend it on?
To be very honest, right, I would want to strengthen the defense first, definitely. I think personally, this is my opinion. I'm not very comfortable with Maguire. To be very honest, I'm not comfortable with Maguire at all. If we had the money, all these talks about Dayo Upamecano coming on, would be good if we could actually get that kind of defenders. But to be very honest, right, if Maguire is in, okay, playing with our squad, there's a lot of possibilities that, there's a lot of fans won't be very confident. But, having said that, I'm quite happy that Bailly signed an extension in his contract. What about you guys, Dom and Doc? What do you think about Bailly signing an extension? Do you feel happy
good,
about it?
I'll go first, Doc. He's good. I mean, he has the pace to... Actually, I think Maguire isn't that bad. It's the pairing that is the problem. Okay, because they are lacking pace, and then this Lindelof, his aerial defense is crap. Okay, so the opponents can actually take advantage of that. But Bailly, he's good. But the problem with him is he can't stay fit. Okay, there's 2 issues here. He can't stay fit. Okay, he will be Van der Beek's partner on the bench. Okay, and then another thing is having signed Bailly with a 4 years, I think a 4 years contract, right? What happened is, I think they basically closed the idea of maybe getting another proper centre defensive centre back into our team. I think judging from the way that MU has been doing their transfer, right, I think it seems like it, because I think the areas that we really need to reinforce is another centre back and a proper CDM. One CDM that can actually govern the midfield, like a Kante or maybe a Declan Rice.
Someone who can replace Fred, someone who can basically take over Fred's role, right, in that sense, because Fred, he gives me that goosebumps sometimes the way he plays. One moment he's playing really well, next moment he's like leaving loopholes, nutmegs and so on and so forth. But to me personally, I think yes, a good CDM would be good. But to be honest, as of now, I can't think of anyone because I can't think of anyone in particular. To be very honest, because of the current squad that we have. I think the depth that we have is pretty good. So I don't know who is going to be the right person is going to be coming in. But you are right, Dom. I agree with you 100%. That a good centre-back and a good CDM would be a very good thing to focus on, during the next games moving forward, and of course next season. But if I could just ask, I'm just curious, Doc and Dom, right? Who would you think would be a good replacement for Fred, or if you had a good CDM to come into our squad?
Yeah, thanks. I think I got a fantastic suggestion for you. Why not we just buy Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool? There's going to be no Champions League football next year at Anfield. I'm sure the best players want to play in the Champions League. Might as well come across, right? Sorry, Hari, I couldn't.
Apparently, he was supposed to come to United first, if I'm not mistaken, before he actually went to Liverpool. Supposedly.
Yeah, actually, it's a very good buy, Virgil van Dijk. To be honest, I saw him when he was Celtic in some of the Champions League games, and I was a bit impressed actually at the time. I was thinking he was one of the good centre backs at that point of time, but Klopp made a good buy by bringing him and Alisson together. I think Alisson has also been your saviour this season.
Yeah.
The reason why you say there's a lot of chances created by other teams, but
Alisson,
you're only conceding one goal is actually down to Alisson.
Yep,
Not
I
the
agree.
defense, but
I
down
agree.
to
Agree.
Alisson.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Going back to who I think, which let's see.
100%.
First talking about Fred. I think Fred does a decent job of winning the ball back. He's very hardworking in that sense, but his passing for a Brazilian is crap. You know, for a Brazilian, we should be
his
able
passing
to
is
pass.
not bad. His passing is okay. By the way, Ram, you're not aware of this, but I'm pretty much more of a supporter of Fred than McTominay lah. And then on the other hand, most people are against Fred.
Oh, okay.
I got another
Oh,
question for
I
you,
see.
but I'll save it for later. Dub, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, I think Bailly, we saw him doing very well in his first season. The problem, and I agree with Dom. The problem is keeping him fit, because he's like there for a couple of games, maximum 4 or 5 games, then he gets injured again. So it's not, it doesn't bring you that stability in center of defense if you keep losing one of your pairing every each time lah. You see Rio and Vidic previously, Gary Pallister and Bruce. Sammy Hipia and what's the other guy?
Jamie Carragher.
Yeah, they never got injured, so frequently. So the pairing is there throughout the season and gives you the stability at the back. But having said that, I think if you're asking me for one signing, I would say the first thing would be to ensure that you keep Edinson Cavani. That would be my key signing. But if he goes, then I think we'll probably need a striker, a real good number 9. I can only think of few people, probably Kane, probably Haaland, Lewandowski, who will never leave Bayern.
Haaland, definitely.
And probably we might even consider Cristiano Ronaldo, since he's now moving into a more of a number 9. But if Cavani stays another season and we can actually mold Greenwood to be the number 9, then I think Declan Rice. Declan Rice has really impressed me in both for West Ham and England. I think if he comes, he can be a double pivot, part of double pivot, and you don't need another defensive mid. He's that good. He actually breaks down attacks, and he actually, the passes that he plays forward is fantastic. So he would be a really good addition, I feel. And it will allow us to play even a more attacking midfielder in the double pivot.
A good player.
I also think, I just thought of a player, I couldn't think of it earlier, but now I thought of a name, Jack Grealish.
If
what
Pogba
do you guys think?
Jack Grealish would be a good substitute for Pogba, I feel. But at the moment now, I think if he comes in, then I think there's not much, he get position for him to play, to be in the starting 11, I feel. But if Pogba does leave, I think he will feel that role. Because since now Pogba is playing more on the left-hand side, moving forward, right, I think that would be a good position for Grealish. That is his natural position anyway.
Yeah, it's a great signing, Ram. I'm just wondering where would you consider to play him if he joins with Pogba still there? Because a lot of those attacking roles are already occupied with surplus.
Look at Van der Beek. Look at our Van der Beek, Donny boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I should have asked you all that earlier, like when you asked me how's Thiago, how's Donny, bro?
Hey, if talking about fitness level, the guy is super fit, man. He warms up by the 5th minute. He's already warming up. Okay, that is passion for you, my friend. That is passion.
He's really a Samangat guy. He really warms up, and then he gets 2 minutes. I feel a bit sorry for him, but I think they haven't found a right place to use him, and I think he will have a better second season. Mark my words.
Definitely, he will be our star next season, because for the limited games that he's playing, the time that he's playing, you can actually see the spark of genius, the runs that he's making and stuff like that. So I think the coming season he will shine.
Yeah, he won't be a obvious starter looking at the positions, but he would be a very good backup in some of the smaller games. And you can, if Ole trust him enough, and you actually, if he also performs, he can actually afford Bruno Fernandes some rest in that position. Let's see how it goes next season.
Okay, for those.
Yep. But coming back to your question, Doc, when you asked me if Pogba is still in of course in our squad, and how do we put Jack Grealish into our squad if let's say we do get him right. What I'll probably do is I'll take Fred out of the equation. Okay, first of all, I'll leave McTominay, because I'm a big fan of McTominay. I think he's pretty decent. I think he's pretty good. He'll come through the game definitely, for sure. I'll leave Pogba and Bruno in the middle of the park for sure, because those two they really give us a very good attacking flair, and I see the partnership going very, very strong. However, I would also definitely put Jack Grealish on the left hand side. Okay, for sure. I will definitely stick with either Greenwood or of course James on the right hand side. But having said that, I would put Rashford up front, because when you put Jack Grealish on the left hand side, it takes the pressure off Rashford, so he can focus more, scoring goals, being that false nine or and so on and so forth, and really just help Cavani. And yes, Cavani should be partnering Rashford as well. So I think it's going to be a major attacking force if that happens, when the crosses are whipped in, because his crosses are just, I don't know how to say this, but when I watch him cross the ball, it reminds me a little bit about Beckham, the way he swerves the ball into the box. I think that would definitely create a very good, I think that would be a very, very strong midfield that we're going to have.
I also think he'd be a good player to have, whether to put pressure on your current first teamers. Yeah. But do we have that luxury? I think there are other areas that probably need to be fixed before we go there. I don't know. I mean, depending on what the funds are available and what the manager wants as well. But he would be a fantastic addition to any team, to be honest.
Okay, moving forward. Definitely. Okay, for those of you who have just watched us at this very moment, please check out the video released by The Plot Malaysia. Okay, they already did a review on a preview on this Manchester United Liverpool game. Okay, where they already selected their combined 11. Very, very interesting selection. Okay. But
the
anyway,
Pullman Show.
Yeah,
fantastic name, by the way.
The Pullman Show.
Fantastic
the Pullman Show.
I loved it.
So we'll be doing another special selection. Okay, we'll be talking about. Okay, many of the Liverpool fans claim that the 2019 Liverpool team is better than the Manchester United 99 treble team. Okay, I'm going to reserve my judgment. I'm going to be neutral here. Okay, so let's select a personnel. Okay, from the goalkeeper position. Okay, the defensive pairing, the midfield, and the striker. Okay, let's start with Doc. Okay, for the goalkeeper position, who would you choose?
So you can see I came dressed for the occasion, right? This is the 99 jersey. Okay, I came dressed for the occasion. Goalkeeper, hands down, sorry, Hari, as good as Alisson is, there's only one person for me, that is the Great Dane. He is the number one anytime.
Yeah.
Fantastic saves, big game player. Remember that 99 treble wouldn't have been possible if he didn't pull up that save in the semi-finals, the last minute of Bergkamp's penalty. And I think it gives you a lot even going forward, those long throws, I tell you, fantastic. That kicks off a lot of the counter-attacks. For me, hands down, Peter Schmeichel.
Agree.
100% agree, man.
Hari? Agree?
No! Actually, this one was a difficult one because I'm going to try and be as fair as possible here, although it's difficult. I'd probably give it to Peter Schmeichel as well. I think it's close though, because I think Alisson is that good a goalkeeper. He's probably in the Premier League era, probably the closest that has come to Schmeichel, if you ask me, in terms of his overall ball playing skills. He's great with saves. He's very confident at the back. But yeah, in terms of someone who lasted the distance out, I think probably Peter Schmeichel ages it lah.
Okay.
Sometimes too confident, would you say, Hari? He's considered a couple.
He's had his moments. He's had his moments.
Dribbles.
He's had his moments. But you know what's interesting is Peter Schmeichel in today's era may not have been in many teams, top teams, because of his ball playing skills with his feet. Very interesting, something to think about.
So yeah, something like what
Joe Hart
is facing at United right now.
Or Joe Hart, or what happened to Joe Hart,
Okay, let's go for the defensive pairing. Okay, Hari, defensive pairing. Who would you choose?
I mean, I think one of the two is hands down Virgil van Dijk. He's probably one of the best defenders the Premier League has seen. So if you compare it with the 99 team, I think who was your pairing back then? Was it Ronnie Johnson or Stam? Stam. Okay, if you asked me to choose both, I would say Virgil van Dijk and Jaap Stam, because I was a big fan of Stam actually as a player. I think he was a good player. So
aggressive.
Yeah, the two of them.
Actually, the more interesting discussion comes at left back and right back. Hari, let's hear your thoughts on that. That's where we might be able to get a couple of Liverpool players in.
Virgil van Dijk made it, bro. Virgil made it, man. Virgil makes it, bro. And the centre back pairing. Are we doing left back, right back? If we're doing left back, right back, then
shoot. Shoot.
Who was your left back? Dennis Irwin back then.
Dennis Irwin. Right back was Gary Neville.
I think this one. Oh,
yeah, Gary Neville.
You know what? This one's tricky, lah. I would go for my two. I'll go for my two left backs, lah. As in Trent and Robertson. I was probably gonna go Trent, maybe Robertson and Irwin, quite close because Irwin was really good, solid, very good defensively, lah. But I mean, I'll back my two, lah. Robertson and Trent.
Ram, you agree with that? Irwin
I
has
totally
begin
disagree.
I'm neutral, but then
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, having said, when I watched the treble team, I loved Gary Neville and I loved Dennis Irwin. Okay, I mean, having said both of them, Gary Neville, so much to go for. I mean, he wasn't that fast going forward, but whenever the balls were whipped in, he was just good. He was basically putting a lot of input going forward. His defenses was good as well. So I like Dennis Irwin and Gary Neville. So I'm going to stick with them. Hari, what are you talking about, who's that? Robertson, are you sure?
If you look purely at the 2019-2020 team, not this season's team, Liverpool, those two, each one contributed double figures in terms of assists for fullback. So I can't go past them, man.
The right back, I'm okay. I mean, but Dennis Irwin, I don't think so. I think he will be my left back. He'll be my left back. Okay, moving on to midfield. Doc, who do you have in your team?
Midfield. If you look at the midfield, I'm so sorry, Hari. I put 4 people down, and all 4 are from United. I think hands down Beckham on the right, hands down Giggs on the left.
Beckham, yeah, of course.
Keane and Scholes in the centre. I think that midfield was a classic midfield. I try to think of the Liverpool midfield. I think Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, none of them can really display this 4. I really tried, and for me, even the left back, right back was the one I could slot in some Liverpool players, but in midfield, no way.
But I think it depends on what formation we're playing. We're playing back then 99 4-4-2 or now 4-3-3, right? What formation do we play with this team? Because I think that becomes very interesting then.
Yeah, I put it down as a 4-4-2 just to be a bit fair, because the balance of both teams and the midfield and things like that. But again, you're right, which formation you play, but won't change so much. I think these players are so good that they could actually fit into most formations.
Yes.
To be honest.
Agree.
I mean, look at Giggs. He started as a left winger. He
Yeah.
became a central midfielder. He was playing in the hole sometimes. He was so good. I mean, this is for me personally. For me, they were really good in that sense. They could adapt. Beckham could play in central midfield. Beckham could play on the left of the central midfield, which he did in the Champions League final. So these guys were really adaptable to different formations, different positions all over the pitch.
So
Fair enough,
we all agree it's all United midfield. Okay, let's
Don't agree.
Oh no!
I would change one. One. I'll give you the 3. Actually, even I was thinking about Henderson instead of Roy Keane. But never mind, fair enough. Roy Keane, I'm just being maybe a bit biased there, because Henderson he can play that role, I feel. And he had a sensational year last year. But if you go with Roy Keane, Scholes, I'm still fine. Right, probably David Beckham, because he was that good in a 4-4-2. But I would actually take Mane instead of Giggs, purely because the output for that year, we're comparing 99 to 2019, 2020. Mane got double figures, close to 20 goals. He was our best player in the Premier League winning season, even more important than Salah. And Giggs, I think, did not contribute as much as Mane did in that year, in 99 for you guys. In terms, I'm talking about numbers, purely numbers.
Yeah, and that time in the 90s and
we were
98, 99,
rotating a lot. We were rotating a lot of players.
Juventus were one of the best teams defensively, and Giggs tore them apart a few times. They were really scared of him, and that was how good he was. I think before he steps onto the pitch, the sheer factor, scare factor, he should be there. His crossing was fantastic. He could score goals all over the pitch, and he pulled off a lot of important goals in '99. Don't forget.
A lot of goals.
A lot of goals.
I think Mane purely because of how important he was for us in the winning season and his numbers in terms of output.
Okay.
We played Barcelona 3-0 down without Firmino and Salah, and the only one who was there was Mane, and he tore them that night when we came back 4-0. So that's how important he was for us. That's the only position I would change in midfield. I'll give you the other 3.
I might
I
consider
reserve.
having him on the bench. lah.
Yeah.
On the bench, yes.
Alongside
Exactly.
Nicky Butt or something like that.
Okay, so our last position, our forward. Okay, Ram.
This
Who's
is,
your
of
choice
course,
of,
talking about
forward?
a treble team, right? Oh, to me,
Yes.
honestly speaking, okay, I know Dwight York, Andy Cole were phenomenal in the treble season. Phenomenal. But I'm going to change, I'm going to take away one out of from the equation. Okay, because I really think Mo Salah deserves that spot, one of the spot. So I'm going to have Dwight York and Mo Salah. Yeah. Yep.
Dwight York and Woods. Okay. Okay, how about you, Doc?
This was also a bit of a tough choice. York and Cole, for me, I think they are better as a pairing. Their understanding was fantastic. But I think I also have to agree with Ram. I probably have to take out one. With really great difficulty, Hari, I will take out Andy Cole and put him on the bench alongside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who needs to be on the bench. And I would actually put in Salah. I don't know whether they may be too similar, their style of play. Maybe you probably need to consider pairing Salah with Cole, because Cole was a more better finisher.
Yeah.
But I think for the season that he had in 99, I will still keep York. So probably York and Salah. Cole on the bench alongside Mane and Solskjaer.
Okay, how about you, Hari?
Oh, this one, I think I agree with the guys on this
Firmino?
one. No. Firmino can't make this team. Actually, I was a big fan. Is from a player point of view, of Dwight York. Even when he was at Aston Villa, I think he was a fantastic player. But so actually, in the ideal world, I'd probably go York and Salah. But just if you want the team to function, that 4-4-2, and again, I feel even York and Salah are very similar, like what Doc said. You guys had a brilliant number 10 in the 99 season.
Teddy
You're
Sheringham.
leaving him out. I would go with Teddy Sheringham and Mo Salah. Because I thought he was that good a player, like Sheringham. So that's probably what I'll do.
Okay.
Okay,
For
so
me, Sheringham can join the rest on a very attacking bench.
okay, so we are at the end of the show. But I just got one quick question.
Coach
for
Dom,
Ram.
we never asked you, who would you go for? Striker.
For me, I'll go with Andy Cole and Dwight York. I think those two, the pairing, it's fantastic.
Keep them together, yeah.
Yeah, their chemistry and whatnot, it's like telepathic.
Yeah.
They know where the other guy will be and
Oh.
stuff like that. The goals that they score as a pairing
Okay.
is fantastic.
You know,
Okay, I got just one last question for Ram. Ram, what's your opinion on Martial? Anthony Martial. I'm reserving. This is the best. Okay, just for
Oh my
just
God,
for
when he
your
first came
knowledge,
on,
right? I'm the
he played
Malaysia
debut against
president of the
Liverpool,
Martial
he scored a
FC
brilliant goal.
fan
I
club.
was like-
So yeah, please, Ram, what's your opinion on Martial?
Yeah. Let's go to you, Hari.
Sorry, Ram, can I stop you there? Can I just get some reaction from Liverpool fans since we have him online? I mean, what was your first impression of Martial, Hari?
First impression of Martial. First impression of Martial was, oh shit, I think they might have got the next Thierry Henry here.
Okay. Martial,
Okay, now
That was the first impression. You want to ask me my impression now?
Almost like
No, we just...
Hey,
Harry, go back to Ram.
I think lebih kurang Firmino lah, slightly better than Firmino lah. I think. Okay, go back to Ram. Ram, please, come on, Ram, come on.
He delivered to him, passed him. Okay, when that is done, he doesn't even finish. He has lost his finishing touch, to me, in my opinion. And I think, I'm sorry to say that, for so many games, we've given him so much of chances. I think Ole has given him a lot of chances this season to try to prove himself. But I think it's quite obvious that he has never taken those chances. And I have to say that if I wanted to invest back into my team, I think it's time I let him go and use that money to get someone to replace him. That's basically what I feel. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Ram, you're not that handsome after all, actually. I think that's the beautiful thing about football. I mean, we have all our opinions and whatnot, but I think that guy still has his place in the team. That's
There's one thing I heard recently. I don't know how true it is, but if it is, It's the biggest joke, bro. I think it is
by the
true.
way, Dom,
Apparently he's got
I just
a
wanna say
Ballon
one
d'Or
thing.
clause in his contract or
wife's birthday
something.
was just happened. He just watched. That's it.
We're at the end.
Whoever drew up that contract, whoever drew up that contract.
We are at the end of our show.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the man. That's how cool is that? That is cool as ice, man. That is cool as ice.
Yeah, but you know, there's another comment, right? He's a Christian Dior tracksuit, dude.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just your normal tracksuit that we wear. Christian Dior tracksuit. That allows him to go to such parties.
Okay, so we are at the end of
Thank
our
you.
show. Okay, thank you guys for joining
All the
us.
best.
Okay, so
United,
for those who are
Jom
new to the
United,
channel, please
Jom
like,
United.
subscribe and share this video. Okay, and also check out the
You
Plot
walk alone,
Malaysia.
Hari.
So hopefully we'll have more collaborations in the future. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys again.
Bye-bye.
Right?
Thank
Guys,
you so
all the
much.
best for the game, man. All the best for the match.
Yeah, Manchester United.
You'll now walk alone.
You walk alone. You walk
You are
alone.
walking alone currently as well. Hari.
Cheers, guys. Cheers. Thanks for having us on the show, guys.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye.